quite a few people have asked recently about changing the temperature sensor, which is built into the driver's door wing mirror, or the right hand side wing mirror. Apparently they go 40, it's just a little bit underneath here, you can feel it underneath. Apparently they go 40 and you end up on the dashboard with temperatures like 40, 50, 60 degrees in the UK, which obviously isn't achievable. Maybe if you're in the Med, you might sometimes get 40 degrees. I know I've had it once in this car when we drove it down to Naples area. So we're going to try and see if we can get the glass out without breaking it, so that we can look to change the temperature sensor if it was 40. Mine isn't 40, but I want to see if I can show you how to do it anyway. A lot of people tend to get a screwdriver or something down the back of it and try and pull it, kind of prise it forward like that. It's just kind of fixed into a ring of clips behind here, but I know obviously what you can tend to do, or what tends to happen, is by doing that you just completely smash the glass, shatter it completely. Isn't a bad thing if you've had an accident and someone's smashed your wing mirror or something like that, it's not a problem. But when your glass is in good condition like ours is, we want to try and avoid obviously breaking it at all costs. So rather than shoving a screwdriver behind it, what I'm going to do, try and use kind of a sucker that we can put on it. This is actually a knife sharpener, believe it or not. I was going to use kind of a GoPro vacuum kind of sticker or something like that you'd use, but I've not got a GoPro, I've only got kind of a tripod. So I'm going to use this as the only vacuum kind of thing that I've got, and see if I can pull this off and see if it'll work. In actual fact, by sticking this on there and kind of pulling it forward, I can see down the back. And whether or not the glass has been changed in this previously on this car, I'm not sure, but there's actually only just a small bit of double-sided sticky tape or something here. There's no it's not fixed to the actual clip bit that I said about, so I can actually, by pulling it forward, I can see down the gap and see the clip. I might be able to, as much as I want to, get a screwdriver down there. So I'm just going to get a screwdriver and we'll give that a go. Okay, great. So that's come off quite well actually, exactly what I was hoping to do. Having that leverage on there with that kind of vacuum of that sticker, that kind of plunger, has allowed us to get that straight forward. So we've been able to take it off. You can see, like I say, the clips in now. If I maybe move the camera a bit closer perhaps, there we go, we can see all of these clips that we've got. So they just clip into these points here. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clips there, just clipping around on the outside. So by pulling that mirror forward, you can see what I was talking about. It's not actually stuck on, it was only stuck on a little bit. So I've just managed to pull that forward and get my screwdriver behind this bit so the pressure was on the plastic and not the glass. So that's come off nicely. So let's have a look, see if we can see where the temperature sensor is. Okay, we've just got a T15 Torx screw there. I think we're going to need to take that off maybe. So I'll just whip that off quickly. Okay, and then we can just see some more Torx bits there, and I think a third one there as well, or a fourth one if you just take that one as one. So we're just going to take them off, see if that gives us access to what we need to get to. And there are a T10 Torx bit as well. So removing that, and that's given us the access to obviously the dead spiders that live inside your wing mirrors, and we can see just the 2 cables there for the temperature sensor just underneath, and it doesn't feel like there's a plug before it runs into the swivel point for the mirror. So I know some people have just kind of cut them and joined them there, but let's take these last couple of Torx bits out and see what it gives us. These ones are T15s as well. Okay, so with them removed, does that allow us to do anything? The whole wing mirror feels like it's loose, to be fair. It feels like we actually need to take the backing off. I'm just going to push these clips up. Right, so we've ended up having to take the cover off the back of it. So obviously that was on there. You can see inside what we've got then is just these clips. 1, 2, 3, 4 clips there, just 2 at the bottom and 2 kind of at the top. If you wanted to upgrade these or respray them now or change them to the carbon fibre ones or something, now would obviously be a good time to do that, because you'll just be able to slide the new one back in. But what it has shown us is that the wiring loom just comes straight into this pivot point before it then disappears off into the door card. So in essence, that means that if you wanted to change the temperature sensor, which just sits in there, it just kind of pushes into that hole there. What you'd need to either then do is just cut into the loom here and use some heat shrink or something just to reseal it, or you're going to end up needing to take off all of that, take off all the door card to try and get to wherever the plug might be. I guess it could just be behind the panel just inside the door there. But in essence, if you didn't want to have to worry about that, didn't want to have to take your wing mirror fully off by disconnecting all of these points and so on, then what you'd need to do is just cut into the loom here, get your new one, plug it onto it with, or solder it onto it, put some heat shrink over the top of it, and then put it back together. I don't think you'd need to do the proxy alignment for obviously teaching it to the car, just with the multi ECU scan or kind of one of those software tools. I think it probably just works straight on, but like I said, I've not done it before, so I'm not 100% certain. So I'm going to get all this back together, and then we'll have a look, see if there's anything that is tricky getting it back together more than it was getting it apart. Okay, so it's all gone back together nicely. As you can see, the cover's back on, the shroud's back on, the temperature sensor's back in there. The worst bit for me was probably actually trying to clip this cover back onto it. What I found was, because the way it comes over and kind of comes right around the entire moulding there, was that I actually needed to clip this bit back onto this bit before this bit was screwed in with those 3 Torx screws. So getting that back in, so we just have a look on the dashboard, make sure we've not compromised anything. With the ignition on, we can see there we've got today's temperature, which is exactly what it is. It's the warmest day of the year so far, believe it or not. So that's all good, back together as it should be. When I put it back together, I think the only thing that was worth noting was the clips that I said about. Was it 8 or 9 clips just going around the outside? They don't clip into that kind of the motor bit, they clip around the outside of it. So when it comes back to putting it together, it wasn't a case of lining up those 9 or 8 clips into those points. It was just the fact that they clip around the outside of that motor bit. So that was the only thing that was really kind of notable when I put it back together, other than, like I say, trying to get that back on now. So there we go. Hopefully that's been useful to someone. If you found it useful, then give us a subscribe coming up here. Maybe like it down below, leave a comment. Like I always say, the more subscribers I get, the more likes I get, the more videos I'll make. So yeah, do hit subscribe, do give us a like, do give us a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.